Hello and welcome to Talk a Good Game. It's just finished here at the London Stadium. West Ham United won, Bournemouth 0 in the first ever league game here. HamburgHammer here from Germany. Your first game here. What do you make of the ground?
Fantastic, smashing experience. I mean, massive ground, over 50,000 Hammers fans here. The game was a bit tight. I mean, it had 0-0 written all over it. I thought it would be a 0-0. But then, I mean, that goal, Antonio, who else? Antonio, one of the best right backs in the league, apparently, so I've heard. But what a smashing game. It couldn't have been a better experience for me. Brilliant.
I'm glad it was worth it. Antonio right back, experiment over.
Absolutely. Well, you know what, Gio? It is experiment over. Not only is it experiment over, Byram looks really, really good. We've got a great view of him here flying down that right flank. And he was liberated. Antonio was liberated today, and he scored the sort of goal that he was scoring before he was forced to play at right back.
0-0 at half-time, Hamburg. There wasn't much in the first half. We concerned at half-time. We didn't really create much, did we?
Well, you have to admit, I mean, obviously the team that was out there today, I mean, for the lineup, we constantly have to patch up holes because our players are dropping like flies, one injury after another. So the lineup we saw today is probably not one we're going to see for many more games this season. So once guys like Payet are back, Figuli are back, Lanzini are back, we're going to see a much different brand of football. And obviously, I mean, the guys done well. I mean, considering that these guys will not play together many more games, it was a great game, I reckon, overall.
What about yourself, Gonzo? Were you concerned as time was going on? I mean, the red card slightly changed it, but until that point, were you worried about our lack of creativity in the final third?
We lacked flair, let's be honest. There's no Lanzini, there's no Payet. Figuli's looked really good in pre-season. We're just seeing some of the replays on the screen behind us at the moment. It was meagre pickings, it was barrel scrapings, really. We were dying out for a bit of creativity, and it was supplied by somebody we didn't expect to really supply it, and that was Torre, who put the crossover for Antonio to nod in at the far end of the pitch here.
What do you make of our new signings in general, Hamburg? We've got our left back Masuaku. We've got Nordveit in centre.
It's Mufasa.
It's Arthur.
We'll call him Arthur. We've got Nordveit in the centre midfield. We had Torre out there. What did you make of them in general?
Well, it's early days yet. I mean, they still need to gel with the rest of the team, obviously. I'm still pretty, I mean, he's not a new signing as such, but I'm still impressed with Byram. I would throw him out here every single game. He's young, he's going to learn, he's going to make mistakes. But I was very impressed with Byram. Torre is a monster. Give Torre a few more games. I mean, he just bursts of energy. He oozes energy and passion. And, well, Figuli, of course. Once Figuli is back, we will be a lot better, I reckon.
Well, we all said Ogbona's our first choice centre-back, but that's 2 league games. He's not been selected, Gonzo. On today's performance, should he be getting his spot back, or is Ogbona on the bench again for you?
That's a clean sheet, mate. A clean sheet's a clean sheet. You've got to send out the right message to the players, and that is that if you perform, you keep the shirt. And Ogbonna, you know, I was his biggest fan last season. I thought he was the best defender at the club last season. But you can't kick Ginge out. There were some great clearances from Ginge. He had a bit of almost fisticuffs. He had a set 2, if you remember, when the substitutions were made with the Bournemouth players as well. It's got to be Ginge. I thought Reed was excellent today, by the way.
Arthur got sent off for Bournemouth. Stupid boy, on a booking, on the halfway line. Should he really be making that challenge?
He shouldn't have been making that challenge, but Kiate had a great game today, and I think he could have sort of encouraged and enticed a lot of challenges from a lot of players. He was pivotal today. We had 3 stoppers, no creativity, but we had Noble, Nordveit, who was much better today, and we had Kiate, who was sensational. So we stopped them, and they looked all right against Man U. Let's not forget that. They looked all right against Man U, but we thwarted them. Bournemouth are probably bottom of the league now with no points, but they won't finish there, and they will do all right this season. We did a good defensive job, albeit without any flair today.
Bournemouth played okay, didn't they? While they didn't trouble us, they certainly weren't poor. They were well organised, and they were hard to break down.
They were hard to break down, particularly hard to break down when you've got no creativity and you've got no flair. I looked at the bench. You showed me the bench on your phone. I was worried. There's no doubt about it. Payet was not there for some reason. Lanzini's still injured. No Figuli. And probably worse than that, no Samuelson and no Quina. So anybody that would create a little bit of magic, a little bit of the unexpected wasn't there. So bearing in mind we were facing a resilient defence, it took something. And actually it was a good cross, a little bit of argy-bargy and a bit of power. And the old Phoenix rising at the far post and Antonio to knock the ball in.
What did you make of that winner then? Your first game here, the man that every fan has been screaming out for this past months, play him right way. He gets played right way, and he steps up to the plate. Goal. It's no surprise to us. It can't be a surprise in dugout. What did you make of that goal?
Well, magnificent, of course, but I mean, it's a running theme here. The last game at the Berlin, if you remember that Antonio header, a bullet of a header, the best header I've ever seen in my life. And I think 50,000 people here in the stadium know that he's a winger. He's a winger, he's an attacking player. That's where he belongs. No more experiments. And I mean, that header was another bullet. And I mean, it lifted the entire team, it lifted the entire crowd. So thumbs up for Antonio.
Kaleri. What a mess.
I could have tucked it away myself, Gio, if you know what I mean. He was free. It was a breakaway. They were on the attack. It was a counter attack. I think it was Noble who set him free. There was a lot of the goal to aim for. He's meant to be a finisher. It was slightly worrying. Hopefully it doesn't play in his mind too much, but he missed wide and left in an open goal with only the keeper to beat.
Is it one of those things where a striker can actually have too much time to think about it?
That was far too much time. I mean, he ran half the length of the pitch, didn't he? So, but I think he will find his feet again. And plenty of players need to find their feet first. I mean, that's the problem. It is a mix and match team right now. This is not the best West Ham side we're going to field this season. So just give it a bit of time, and I think Kaleri will come good as well.
Adrian and Reid saved us right at the death, though. Scramble on the ball. What a save, and what a header by Winston Reid, almost off the line. Incredible. That was a full pelt shot, and he put his head in the way of it.
We were pretty lucky in that instance. I mean, it could have well gone in. But I mean, probably we deserved it today. And I was really hoping for it to happen because, you know, last game at the Berlin, I wanted us to win that. I desperately wanted us to win the first league game here at the new place. So, all's good, man. All's good.
Hamburg says we deserve the win. Do you agree with that?
No, I thought it was a draw today. I thought it had draw written all over it. But you know what, in terms of perseverance, listen, whether you want to put it down to luck or whatnot, we had no creative players today. I'm labouring the point on the video here. With that in mind, that we really had nobody to create any goals, nobody to score any goals. Andy Carroll, of course, we discussed Andy Carroll. Andy Carroll went down early on. There were rumours sort of circulating yesterday that he wasn't going to be in the team. He wasn't in the team. We saw that today. The players are just sort of warming down, as you can see behind us there. We need a few more of those players, but not warming down. We need them warming up and getting into the team. So it probably should have been a draw in answer to your question, but you know what, we're going to take a win. That's 3 points, 3 valuable points, because we got a little tough game coming up next. We got the in the league, obviously we have the return leg against Astra, which we want to perhaps get through, and then we have an international break. So they're an important 3 points. And I thought the crowd, let's talk about the crowd. We stood in the stadium, let's talk about the stadium. The crowd were loud today. The Bournemouth fans who were sat over there basically were trying to make some noise, but they were drowned out by the West Ham fans. We were loud, and they spoke about the roof. The roof's really echoing the sound down in here, and I mean, it was. I'll be interested to see what the sound was like closer to the pitch, but hopefully that buoyed the players, and the 12th man of the crowd helped Antonio rise out of the ashes like a phoenix and knock it in.
You thought we deserved the win, but let's step away from that moment. Do you think that win today papers over the cracks at West Ham United in terms of reinforcements into the club? We've now lost our main striker for 6 weeks. Do we need some action in the boardroom today?
Well, from a fan perspective, certainly. I mean, I would love us to make 2 or 3 more signings, definitely. But I have a gut feeling that Sullivan is going to say, oh, well, we won. We'll be all right at the end of the day. We will have players coming back from injury. So I'm not quite sure we're going to see a marquee signing. Probably 1 or 2 more signings coming in on loan, I can imagine that, but no proper marquee signings. For some reason, the money doesn't seem to be there. I don't know where it all went, but apparently we don't seem to have enough money left to buy another marquee signing.
Well, we had no money for getting back as wages, but then all of a sudden Carroll gets injured and we've suddenly got wages for Boney from Man City, so I don't know where those wages are suddenly sprung from, but that's for a different show. We'll be back on the transfer deadline day. We'll be doing a live show for 5 hours, 6 hours. Transfer deadline day shuts at 11 p.m. We'll be live from 5 p.m. until 11 p.m. discussing all the transfer gossip. But one last question, but before I go into that, I think we were lucky to get the win today. I think if Bournemouth kept 11 players, I think they would have went away here with a point. I think the win will become as a relief for Bilic and the people above Bilic. I think they'll think, that could have got nasty out there today. I think the atmosphere was a strange one. While it was noisy, it was different. We are going to take a bit of time to get in bed in. That's for a different video, though. We'll do another video on that, perhaps, about the atmosphere in general, etc. But I'm relieved we've got the 3 points. The players needed a lift from the fans, and the fans needed a lift from the players. And whether they deserve the win or not, we've got the 3 points. I think both sets have got that today. And I think we've seen that when James Collins slowly trunched over to applaud the crowd, and there was a lot of people stayed behind to clap them. I think there was just a sense of relief today. Do give us your thoughts, though. Do you think West Ham deserved to win? Who was your man of the match? Let us know in the comments below. Come onto our forum at hammerschat.com. Make sure you subscribe to our channel. But all important question, HamburgHammer, it's your debut on Talk of the Game. I'm coming to you first. Who was your man of the match?
Well, I would reckon 90% would probably say Antonio because of the goal. But, you know, I got Cresswell on the back of my shirt. I like my defenders. Very underrated player, so I will go for Collins, actually.
Ginge from Hamburg. Antonio got the official man of the match. Hamburg says 90% say Antonio. Are you saying Antonio?
Well, I was worried he was going to say Cresswell for a minute. I was going to point out he's not on the pitch, my old son. I'm going for Kiate. As you know, we've been sat here. I've been shouting at him all game because he was absolutely brilliant. Yeah, as Hamburg said there, it could have easily been Antonio. Do you know what? Just on Antonio, it would have been easy for him to have his head dipped, to be sort of sulking really after what's happened to him. That's good attitude. He is full of endeavour, and endeavour has become a dirty word really, but you need it in a team, and he is full of it. So, you know, anyone that says Antonio's man of the match, I'm not going to argue with them, but for my personal choice, it's going to be Cheku Kiate, who was sensational today. 3
people on Talk of the Game, 3 different opinions on man of the match, and I'm not going with the award either. I'm going with our other defender. I'm going with Winston Reid. He just saved us 3 points. Well, yeah, 2 points if you like, because Bournemouth would have took one away. But Winston Reid just got us 2 points there at that depth. He put his body in the line. Wilson is not an easy striker to mark. Winston Reid took that responsibility today. He knew Collins has got a lack of pace. He said, you step to the side, I will deal with the striker, and he dealt with him brilliantly, I thought. The red card was a relief to me because I was expecting Grado and Afobe to come on. The red card, I think, changed Eddie Howe's plans. It said you can't take these players on. You need to play for the point now. Relieved, but we've got the 3 points. We're happy Hammers. Gonzo, HamburgHammer, Gio, we're Hammer Chat. Thank you for joining us.